Whenever someone asks somebody in regards to like what anime got them started into watching more anime, they would probably give you a pretty common answer of maybe Naruto, Dragon Ball, One Piece, Bleach, Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan. You already know. But my story is a little bit of a unique one. If you see the thumbnail of this video, you already know the answer to it, but I would like to explain myself, okay? So here is the story, and maybe not too many people know this, but here's the story as to how this one anime got me addicted into watching even more anime. Here we go, man. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Just want to say thank you guys so much for the support recently in regards to both the AZ Lore and AZ Lore Plus channel, especially here. We just recently hit 100 subscribers, and I continuing just to hope that we continue to grow. So thank you guys so much for the support recently. And if you guys missed my birthday countdown special, because I'm actually filming this on my birthday. Haha, hello. I turned 27 today. Let's go. Check out the VOD. Links of course, all in the description. Everything that you need to know is all in the description. And of course, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Please, thank you. I remember one of my ideas was basically just talking about how I got into anime recently. I'm finally doing it. I might as well just go ahead and do it on my birthday, so here we are. And again, I'm just going to go ahead and echo, I guess, the same sentiment to you guys, because I think it's a very interesting question. So I want to hear from you guys, what anime got you guys addicted, or not even just addicted, just got you guys to watch even more anime? Because while I'm going to talk about the anime that is going to be mentioned later on in this video, I'm sure a lot of folks have potentially similar answers. Is there any other anime that got you into watching more? Very interested in terms of like how and what anime, in terms of like how everyone started, because I feel like with just the abundance of anime out there, I think it's just a very interesting concept. So I definitely want to know, so make sure you guys comment down below. My anime, again, guarantee you that my anime, nobody saw this one coming. Nobody. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna go ahead and start this story, and we are going to turn this back all the way so many years ago, and we're going to start with pretty much, I guess, technically my first ever anime, which is Pokemon. It was mostly in the Hoenn and Sinnoh regions where I really watched the Pokemon anime on Cartoon Network every Saturday morning. You already know it airs, and I did that for quite a while, to the point where, you know, I just thought it was pretty damn cool. I did dive into some Yu-Gi-Oh and some Bakugan back then, but it wasn't like on the same realm at all compared to Pokemon, because I'm still a Pokemon fan. Definitely back then I'm a huge Pokemon fan, and I've pretty much watched like all the movies from like at least from, you know, the first one to 2 to 3, and then, you know, I think the fourth one was Celebi, and I think the fifth one had to deal with these guys here, the goats. These are my favorite Pokemon right here, but Latios is my favorite. You get it, you know, like the Pokemon Advance, Pokemon Battle Frontier, then Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Like those parts of the Pokemon anime pretty much are like near and dear to my heart in terms of like how I kind of got started, if you count that, I guess. I just kind of stopped and I guess just grew out of it, starting with the Unova region. I didn't really get too much into that. Other than that, that was kind of how it got started. And then we transition a couple of years later to the year of 2014, which is the year that I was in freshman year of high school, I'm pretty sure, which is, oh my god, it feels like so long ago, especially when I'm reminiscing about this on my birthday, which is kind of crazy. But anyways, so in 2014, I do not remember how this came across me or how this came across my mind at all. The first real anime that I finished was Attack on Titan season 1. That was in the realm of how anime was basically like split into multiple parts for an episode on YouTube, the fan subs being so like colorful, etc. If you've been through this era, you already know. I've only gone through it with Attack on Titan season 1 back then in 2014. That was a time, and I remember just struggling just to find like an episode like part 2 of something on YouTube. I didn't understand it, but I obviously, from what it sounds like, a lot of people went through that. But yeah, Attack on Titan season 1, man, I don't exactly remember my emotions, especially during that time at all, but I remember just liking it so much. Again, I just don't remember how I got into it or how Attack on Titan came across me, but other than that though, it was an amazing watch. Season 1 was great, and back then I pretty much binged it in probably less than a week, which may not be as quick as other folks may think, but yeah, it is what it is. Once again, not into anime like that, especially around that time. And the people that I was at least hanging out with, I remember that they were talking about, because they were all in a volleyball club, I remember them talking about an anime called Haikyuu, and I was like, huh, what's that? Attack on Titan really stood out to me for some reason, and I finished season 1, and obviously I'm looking for a season 2, and we'll get to this later, but in 2014 there was no season 2 of Attack on Titan, because as you guys may remember, or maybe you don't remember, Attack on Titan season 1 aired in 2013, and there wasn't a second season until many years later. So that was kind of like it. I kid you not, that was kind of like it, because I didn't really watch anything other than that. I didn't really understand it. I don't know why. I kind of just thought of Attack on Titan being like the pinnacle of anime for me. Like, I already know, like, Dragon Ball is there, Naruto is there, One Piece is there, and I've only really watched like a handful of episodes, but because of me being pretty much a teenager, I just did not really remember anything. It's not like I've not watched any of those anime. Like, I've definitely watched a couple of episodes. I just don't remember what was happening. But specifically with Naruto, I remember just watching this with my cousin when he used to be crazy into anime back then. He still kind of is today, but not on the same realm, of course. I remember we were just watching Naruto on the TV, and I was like, oh, they're fighting. Why though? Oh, why are they fighting? So that happened, and I remember also, same cousin, I remember probably we were in a Barnes & Noble, and we were in the manga section, which was pretty small back then, and I remember him saying how I should probably get into One Punch Man. This was probably like a year after. I thought it looked cool, I thought Saitama looked cool, but again, I just never dove into it. So legitimately, after 2014, 2015, I didn't know anything about anime. Swear to God, like nothing, absolute nothing. I didn't know anything for pretty much 5 years. I didn't know what was popular. I didn't know what was on everybody's mind. I didn't know what was trending at the time, and I just had no absolute idea. And it wasn't until a specific year in 2020. So in 2020, we already know how it all went down. Peak lockdown year, peak COVID year. So pretty much everybody was just inside. If you remember, and you know, you were an OG, you would know that I used to stream pretty much almost every single day during the lockdown, only because I was still in college, there wasn't exactly anything to do other than just to, like, I guess, pass the time and just stream and whatnot. Going back to things, I remember going through the Persona 4 anime because I was going through Persona 4 Golden at the time, since it recently released on Steam that year, and Persona 4 Golden pretty much is probably one of my favorite games of all time, if not my favorite game of all time. And I remember just going through the first playthrough of Persona 4 Golden, and I remember just thinking to myself, holy crap, where has this been all my life? But other than that, I did try and go through the anime as well while I was going through the game. Obviously didn't spoil myself, but as everybody knows, the Persona 4 anime is very funny, so I will probably rewatch that at some point just to get myself up for a revival. But anyways, going back to the main part of the story, this is pretty much where things get pretty damn spicy. Okay, so I remember being in my private Discord server with friends, and I remember just talking with them, and I pretty much think that the topic of anime just came up where was being asked in terms of like, hey Larlar, have you watched any sort of anime, or are you interested in anime, and something like that. If I remember correctly, I kind of just said not really, no, and they kind of just started going off of like talking about a bunch of titles, anything pretty much popular as you could think. Then they started talking about an anime that was also like pretty recent as well. So if I remember correctly, the whole group was talking about like Bunny Girl Senpai, or a Gairu, Kaguya-sama, Love is War. And then there's this one that kind of stood out to me. It was mostly due to the synopsis of said series, and that anime was called Domestic Girlfriend. Now, it's okay. I'm making a whole video on this anyway, so I'm okay to embarrass myself. It's perfectly fine. It's just that for some reason, Domestic Girlfriend was the anime that was like, okay, fine, let's just go ahead and just watch one episode, because again, I just didn't really exactly know what I was getting into, other than the fact that this anime was pretty damn spicy. Okay, so again, didn't really know anything at all. The entire story, other than like, I guess the synopsis, was just a total non-spoiler thing. I just didn't understand anything at all. So I went into this with an open mind, just thinking to myself, all right, I'm just gonna go ahead and watch this one episode. Might as well. We are just here. We're not doing anything much. Here we go. All right, here we go. This is obviously where, again, things get very spicy. So what I will advise is, if you know Domestic Girlfriend, then you are okay to watch at least the next couple of minutes. If you want to go on ahead and experience Domestic Girlfriend for the first time, if you want to for some reason, you can go on ahead and skip to whatever this time is in the video, and I'm gonna give you guys another 5 seconds, okay? Because again, just a spoiler barrier here thing, you know, just trying to be careful. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, you're still here. Okay, so let's go. Here we go. Spoilers all the way. Okay, here we go. So to anyone who knows the Domestic Girlfriend anime, episode 1 pretty much went like this, if I remember correctly. So episode 1 pretty much went like, the main guy was having a huge crush on his teacher, and he basically didn't really exactly have a shot. It was basically just unrequited love. He goes over to a mixer that his friend, you know, I guess just brought up and whatnot. You know, a mixer is basically where a bunch of guys and a bunch of girls just meet up and just have a couple of drinks, you know, meet and mingle. He sees this one girl that was also getting a drink because he also went to go get a drink. This one girl basically said of how annoying this is. She's not exactly feeling what is going on here. So she kind of just offered, hey, let's just go. You know, let's just go ahead and leave this. Let's ditch this joint and let's just go home. He basically takes her up on that, and I think it just came down all of a sudden to where she invites him to her apartment. And this is obviously where things get very spicy in this episode, okay? So they go into the apartment. For some reason, I guess they're just talking it up. Next thing you know, she is basically asking the main character if he is willing to have sex with her. If I remember correctly, it was coming to the point where he was like, oh, but I have this huge crush on this teacher. I'm probably like willing to like give up my virginity right here. And so they basically have sex, and you know, they just have the whole thing. It was very awkward. He kind of leaves feeling very, very guilty. So he, you know, he's talking to his friend and he's saying how like, yo, I just lost my virginity to this girl that I just met only a couple of minutes ago. And then you also meet the main character's father, who was, I think, recently divorced. Then he was like, look, are you okay if I'm willing to potentially, like, you know, remarry here? And he said, yeah, you're good, man. You know, I just want you to be happy. And then he's like, sure, fine. Okay. So, well, I met somebody and we're going to go ahead and meet them right now. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Obviously, a lot of things are happening very, very fast. Okay. Very, very fast. New families at the door. Basically see the woman that his father met. She's very pretty. And then she has two other women with her. But the funny part about these two women is the fact that one is the person that he had sex with just the other night, and two was the teacher. And that was a crazy plot twist I was not expecting in the slightest, which is, again, crazy to think about. And I know it is weird, but it was very, very spicy, because again, whenever it comes down to stuff like this, I'm like, this is like totally new. I was like, what? Like, after that, pretty much the episode ends. They were like moving in together, and then he tried to do a kiss that was, you know, very discreet, but then he got caught by the person that he had sex with the other night. And that is pretty much how episode 1 ends. And I can't believe it, but after that, I immediately said, we have to keep going. We have to keep going. We have to keep going in terms of like what this anime is all about and what happens next, because that was a cliffhanger that got it going. I kid you not. And again, this may be embarrassing, but after this, it pretty much just jump-started in terms of my curiosity in terms of anime. Because of that, I started researching a lot of things up, and then I find out that, remember, Attack on Titan didn't have a second season? It didn't have a second season until 2017. But the thing was, though, right? Not only did Attack on Titan have a second season, it also had a third season. And then, right, because this is the summer of 2020, if you guys remember, the final season of Attack on Titan was also slated to air in December of 2020. I was like, oh, let's go. Okay. That is pretty much how everything started. I started watching lots and lots of more anime back then, to the point where I even put up a spreadsheet, and I will show you guys the spreadsheet right now. I swear to you. Okay, so this is basically the spreadsheet that I went ahead and made, and this is literally how everything started. And as you guys can see, literally right here, the first thing is Persona 4 the animation, but then the one right under it is Domestic Girlfriend, and it started July 24, 2020. Oh my goodness, it's been so long ago. But yeah, we don't talk about this one right below it. But as you guys can see, like, I have kept a log of what I've been watching over the past like 5 years. I keep this updated, man. I keep this updated even today. And, you know, this is basically where everything's at. You know, I watched Your Name at one point, I guess. The Rascal Does Not Dream series, or Agairu, Your Lie in April, Grand Blue. And then, you know, I just watched so much more popular anime around the time. So, like, you know, the Konosuba, the Cowboy Bebop, the Haikyuu. And as you guys can see, oh yeah, here we go, the Steins Gate, Kaguya-sama. But then, as you guys can see right here, you guys can see right there, the Attack on Titan, bruh. The Attack on Titan was also there, and it basically ended the year off there. This is pretty much how it all started, guys. I'm not even gonna lie to you, man. So going back to the whole thing, that is pretty much the entire story of how I got addicted into anime. And it was literally because of that one episode of Domestic Girlfriend. Now, it's embarrassing, I know, but I'd like to make fun of myself once in a while, you know, so there you go. In terms of seasonal anime, I started and followed seasonal anime in the winter 2021 season, which was a stellar season, by the way, if you remember. But yeah, it was an amazing season of anime there, and ever since then, I've literally been doing this for pretty much 5 years now, and I don't have any sort of drive to stop. Granted, I think my thing of tolerance in regards to anime is probably getting there, to where I've definitely told myself that I'd rather finish an anime and not drop it, but it's at this point where if something is actually like not grabbing me, then I will most likely drop it nowadays. But I guess that kind of just goes over time. And of course, like, I know one day the seasonal anime grind is probably going to end at some point in the future. Like, there's just no way it's not. there's going to definitely be a season where I just take a total break from it. I don't exactly feel as though that's coming anytime soon. I just want to continue to keep going, especially with the winter 2026 stuff coming soon. Seasonal anime is just like so amazing to me. I'm kind of glad that I guess started watching anime in the summer of 2020, because that is literally my story in terms of how I started to get into anime. Yeah, there you go. So I definitely want to continue to enjoy myself as much as possible. I do definitely think that anime is like such a unique medium. Japan always works on anime 24/7, and I just feel as though that despite some being like weird anime, you know, let's step aside from all the weird anime. You got anime that I am like huge fans of, such as Frieren, 86, Origairu, Kaguya-sama, Steins Gate. Like that, those are literally like top 5 right now for me. But that's just like a rough list. But even then, right? If I didn't start watching anime, I would not come across those types of gems at all in my life, and I'm really glad that I did. Yeah, man, it's just, I feel as though that anime is such a great medium. Just step aside from all the weird ones and it's all right. But it's like, again, I appreciate anime so much. I really do, because many years ago, I didn't really understand it. I thought it was weird too. Like, I didn't understand it at all. Yet here I am watching it almost pretty much every single day. So I guess I'll eat my words from that many years ago. And that is basically the story of how I got into anime, seasonal anime, because basically after Domestic Girlfriend, the rest is history. I research a bunch of stuff, see what's popular, go ahead and start watching it, make it to the point where I make a whole group with friends here just watching anime. It's so crazy, man. It's just like, it just came to a point where then all of a sudden, winter 2021, and I haven't stopped since. I've just continued to watch anime on a seasonal basis, and yeah, there you go. But yeah, I hope you guys like the story. I don't believe I missed out on any sort of details. Well, hopefully not. But now, in terms of the future, I wanted to at least take this time to just talk about really quickly in terms of like what kind of anime videos you guys are expecting here. There will obviously still be the winter 2026 anime video, what I'm watching, fall 2025 ranking video as well. I'm still planning on doing a best of 2025, but I kind of need to start planning that soon. I am hoping to put this up before the end of the 2025 year, but there is a chance it slips into 2026. We shall see. I have no idea. I am also planning on binging Uma Musume, the anime, not the game. You know, I am planning on binging the anime finally, and I'm most likely going to make a video on that, on my thoughts of it at least. And same thing goes for My Hero Academia, because if anybody doesn't know, My Hero is ending soon. That's pretty much when I told myself, all right, when My Hero ends, I'm gonna go ahead and start it. So when it ends, I'm gonna start it, and I'm probably gonna make a video on that as well in the future, when I get to it, of course. Well, anyways, thanks guys for watching. I appreciate you all. I would like to know what your first anime that got you into anime was, or at least addicted to it. Let me know down in the comments down below. Maybe there's just a wider range of anime that people started with and whatnot, but I definitely want to know. Or yeah, just let me know. I want to know what your thoughts are, because I think I think it would be a very interesting thing just to go through all the comments and whatnot. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you all. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.